Okay, boss. Yesterday I had one requirement. Yesterday కాదు ఎప్పుడో వచ్చింది నా రిక్వైర్మెంట్. ఐ వాంట్ డూ దట్. నలుగు దిస్ చూడు బస్ రియల్ టైంలో నువ్వు ఈ సినారీ చెప్పుకోవాలి ఇంటర్వ్యూలో. ఓకే, వెరీ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్. సో ఐ హ్యావ్ అన్ ఇన్వెంటరీ క్యూబ్. యా, I can know stocks from here. So inflow is 160 and outflow is 105. So stock is what? 55. Stock for what? For P1 M1 material. I'm going to have one more cube. By demand. Demand is of quantity. మనం యూనిట్ ఇచ్చుకున్నాం కదా. ఏబ్బా స్పెల్లింగ్ అయితే యాక్టివ్ ఉన్నారు కదా. రైట్, రైట్. So I'm going to create a cube for my. Yeah, which what the demands. So I've got a cube which is actually giving you demands of a product. For now I'm just simulating it with RS input by manually entering the data, but I'll explain that soon. P1 M1 and it's a week it'll ఆ డేట్లని 2015లో పెట్టినాం. 01/55 కదా. $35. Like this, I've got demand for 5 weeks. Okay. So imagine this scenario like this. I have an inventory queue which has been loaded from ECC, and that is giving me stocks. And I've got demands cube. Let's say this is getting loaded from APO system. Yeah, actually in APO they do planning, demand DPN. What is it called as? Demand planning. like ECC, APO is another product of SAP where they do. It will have a sub model called DP, demand planning, where they do planning of the stock for the demand next weeks. Actually, 24 weeks demand they'll plan actually. Okay, but I just took 5 weeks demand. So from APO, I've loaded the demands into my demands cube. From ECC, I've loaded my stock movements and I've calculated my stocks. So this cube gives me stock, this cube gives me demand. Okay. Now what's my logic now? Just let me get this. I don't have to worry. Okay. So I've got my for the same material of a plant P1, I get the demands on different weeks. It's a 24 weeks question. Now I know this cube is not showing me the actual keyword, which is what? The stock. We only get to see inflow, outflow in the cube. But there's one more keyword, stock, you remember? Non-queried key figure is never shown in the cube. You only get to see the results in the query. Okay. So this cube is giving me the stock of my material. As of today, what is my stock? Yeah. With this stock, how many weeks demand can I sustain? That's my requirement, which I call it as demand aggregation ratios. With the stock what I have, now today's stock, I need to see in how many weeks can I sustain my demand. That's the point. That's my requirement. Now say week. Okay. Now look at this. What is your stock? 55. Okay, good. Now look, I'm explaining the logic. For M1 P1 material, stock is 55. Where do I get it from? From the inventory cube. Yeah. Good. Now from this demands cube, I know the demands of the weeks. Now, any weeks demand sustain kagaluto? How many weeks demand can you sustain with this stock? What is the logic? First you say, what is my demand of first week? 5. 5 is less than 55, so week 1, yes, I can count it. Next, if you look at next week 2, 5 plus 30, 35. So 35 is less than 55, so even I can satisfy second week. Yes, 54. 54 is less than 55, so I can satisfy even third week. And if you look at fourth, stock vigilin, one undi. But for the fourth week, I've got demand of 7. But what is stock availability is 1. For a complete week, it is 7, right? But I've got 1. Can I satisfy one day of that week? Right? Dot 1. So it is like 3.1 is like 3 weeks and 1 day. That's my concept. 3 weeks with the existing stock, I can sustain 3 weeks and 1 day. That's my report. This is what we call it as demand aggregation ratio. Any complex scenario you've done, this is a good example to project out in the interviews. Okay, boss? How will you do this? This is the point. In the Nigrandi Chodalna, you can also do. చూద్దాం నేను మోడలింగ్ కెపాసిటీ స్టాక్ ఇచ్చిన డిమాండ్ ఇచ్చిన రెండు కలిపి నాకు అది ఇవ్వాలి మల్టీప్లైడర్ పెట్టి బేసిక్స్ ఈ మల్టీప్లైడర్ ఏమవుతుంది దాన్ని దీన్ని కలిపితే నీకు వస్తుంది అంటే యూనియన్ యూ విల్ హ్యావ్ రికార్డ్స్ ఆఫ్ క్యూబ్ 1 రికార్డ్స్ ఆఫ్ క్యూబ్ టెస్ట్ 2 డిఫరెంట్ రిజల్ట్ సెట్స్ దెన్ విల్ కెన్ గెట్ దట్ అవుట్. నువ్వు మనసులో నాకు చెప్పు, నేను దాని నుంచి ఇంకో పాయింట్ చెప్పవచ్చు నేను అట్లా. వేరియబుల్ యాడ్ ఉందమ్మా. నువ్వు ఫస్ట్ డిసైడ్గా యూ వాంట్ డూ దట్ ఇన్ ద ఫ్రంట్ ఎండ్ ఆర్ యూ వాంట్ డూ ఇట్ ఇన్ ది బ్యాక్ ఎండ్, హౌ యూ వాంట్ డూ. మొత్తం నీ లాజిక్ చెప్పు. వేరియబుల్ అంటే గుడ్డుగా ఏదో ఒకటి చెప్పొద్దు. వాట్ ఇస్ ద లాజిక్ యూ వాంట్, హౌ డూ యూ వాంట్ లాజిక్ అర్థమైంది. హౌ డూ యూ వాంట్ ఇంప్లిమెంట్ దిస్ లాజిక్, అది కాన్సెప్ట్. బికాస్ ఇఫ్ యూ కమ్ అవుట్ విత్ ది థాట్, ఇంకో ఐ కెన్ టీచ్ వన్ మోర్ న్యూ పాయింట్. ఓకే, ఎనీ థాట్స్? ఇన్వెంటరీ క్యూబ్ అయిపోయింది, డిమాండ్ క్యూబ్ రెడీగా ఉన్నాయి. దీని ఆన్ టాప్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ యూ బిల్డ్ వాట్ ఎవర్ యూ వాంట్. అల్టిమేట్లీ ఐ వాంట్ దట్ రిజల్ట్. కొత్త మార్కర్ వరకు ఎందుకు పోతున్నావు? వై యూ వాంట్ గెట్ ఇన్ టు మార్కర్? నువ్వేం ఇఫ్ యూ స్పీక్ సంథింగ్ షుడ్ మేక్ సెన్స్, అంటే లాజికల్గా మాట్లాడతా, ఏదో పాయింట్తో వెళ్ళాలి. నువ్వు సేయింగ్ ఏమన్నా, యూ సెడ్ యూ విల్ క్రియేట్ వన్ మోర్ క్యూబ్ విచ్ విల్ హ్యావ్ డిమాండ్ అగ్రిగేషన్ రేషియో, దాంట్లో యూ విల్ హ్యావ్ మెటల్ నంబర్, ప్లాంట్ అండ్ డిమాండ్ రేషియో అని పెట్టేసి, దెన్ హౌ విల్ యూ ఫిల్ దట్ క్యూబ్? Okay, building a cube to store that data about metal number, plant and demand ratio, but how do you want to fill that cube? How will you okay, metal number to metal number, plant to plant, but how will you fill that demand ratio? How outflow minus inflow is stock, okay, but still that is working fine in this case because I have not loaded initial stock. సో ఇన్షియల్ స్టాక్ అన్నీ ఉండిందంటే యూ కెనాట్ రియలీ కౌంట్ ఇన్ఫ్లో మైనస్ అవుట్ఫ్లో కౌంట్ చేస్తే రాదు నీకు కరెక్ట్గా. సిన్స్ ఐ హావ్ నాట్ లోడెడ్ BX దేర్, యూ కెన్ యాడ్ ఇన్ఫ్లో మైనస్ అవుట్ఫ్లో ఈస్ గివింగ్ యూ స్టాక్ ఫైన్. బట్ ఇఫ్ యూ హ్యావ్ లోడెడ్ BX ఆల్ దో స్టఫ్, దెన్ యూ కెనాట్ రియలీ టేక్ ఆల్ ది మూమెంట్స్, నో రైట్? అవును కదన్నా, మూమెంట్స్ అప్పుడు ఇఫ్ యూ టేక్ విత్ ఇన్షియల్ స్టాక్ ఆల్ దిస్ ఇన్ఫ్లో మైనస్ అవుట్ఫ్లో, ఇట్ విల్ బికమ్ రాంగ్ స్టాక్. కరెక్ట్, వాట్ ఈస్ ద కరెక్ట్ స్టాక్? వెన్ యూ రన్ ద క్వెరీ, యూ గెట్ ద స్టాక్ విత్ దట్ ఈస్ కరెక్ట్ వాల్యూ. I cannot really manipulate the cube data to get the stocks, no. I should run my BX query which will give me what is the stock of the material. ఈ క్యూబ్ మీద నేను క్వెరీ చేసి మెటల్, ప్లాంట్, and I'll put the non-colored keyword stock into the query and run it. It says M1, P1, stock is what? 55. But as it is from the cube, can I get that stock values? అంటే BX అన్ని లోడ్ అయితే యూ కెనాట్ రియలీ కౌంట్ ఆల్ దోస్ ఇన్ఫ్లో మైనస్ అవుట్ఫ్లో రాదు. చాలా లాజిక్ చేసి చేయాలి, రైట్? దెన్ అదే రెండు తీసుకున్నప్పుడు నేను ఇన్షియల్ స్టాక్ ఇన్ఫ్లో పెట్టింటాను, అప్పుడు ఇన్ఫ్లో స్టాక్ పెరిగిపోతుంది, స్టాక్ తేడా వస్తుంది. బికాస్ హౌ డస్ మై క్వెరీ క్యాలిక్యులేట్ ద కరెంట్ స్టాక్ వాల్యూ, మార్కర్ వాల్యూ ఆర్ uncompressed? I've compressed everything, I've got marker. So even if I don't have to add inflow minus outflow, I should take the marker value to represent my current stock value and compare that with my demands which is in different cube. You created another cube with metal number, plant and demand ratio, but how will you fill that record? I should fill this record as what? M1, P1, demand ratio is 3.1, and I need to fill this record to a cube. I know metal M1, but how will I get this value? So write some routine or marker. ఎందుకు మార్కర్ అంటే what is marker? It's all done in inventory. It's all done in the inventory cube. Don't come out of the topic, non-cube key figures, okay? Cube will give you stock, the other cube which is giving demands. Now I integrate both these to get this output. That's the question. As long as you answer me, I am not going next step. Simple. Logic is I need to perform some calculation between stock and the demand. That is straightforward. How will you do that? That's what how will you do that?
End routine రాసుకొని end routine లో లూపర్ రిజల్ట్ ప్యాకేజ్ ఈ రెండు టోటల్ డిమాండ్ కౌంట్ చేసుకొని సోర్స్
ఆ లాజిక్ వద్దులేదు. రొటీన్ రాస్తాను because logic I gave you said you write. I don't want the every statement. నేను routine he said he'll write end routine. He says he'll create a cube with M1 material number, plant and demand ratio. Okay. You will write end routine, but you should, for writing routine you need transformations. If you need transformation, you need to connect something. What do you want to connect to that cube? Got my question? You said end routine, okay, I am okay. But if you want to write that end routine, you should have transformation. Transformation should connect some source object. Which source object do you want to connect to the new cube? What is the new cube you are creating? You want to connect that cube with what? With the demands cube or inventory cube or what?
Sir, info set lo demand చేశారు. Info set లో క్యూబ్ స్టడీ చేసి క్యూబ్ లో అవుట్పుట్ వాల్యూ అంటే లాస్ట్ మనకి ఎండ్ వాల్యూ ఎంత ఉందో సో డిమాండ్ వాల్యూ దాన్ని మ్యాచ్ చేసుకొని మనము మైనస్ చేస్తున్నాం.
He is saying why don't you build an okay, first in the I will come to the నీది అర్థమైందప్ప. Now source లేదు, so it doesn't have source. Okay, and next what is yours? He said he'll take this cube demand, he'll take the cube stock and he'll join that on metal number and plant. So that joint results will be what? For metal number and plant, you'll get inflow, you'll get outflow, you'll get the demands. Connect stock rather. When I use, because do you have the stock key figure in the cube? No. Do we have stock key figure in the cube? No. So when I use cube in the info set, will I get stock key figure? No. Then what is the benefit of joining them? Arthamina point. Got my point. Because stock is a non-cumulative key figure where it does not store the values inside the cube. No. Only during runtime of the query it will show the value. When you use a cube in the info set to join demands cube and stocks cube, you will get demands because that is normal cumulative key figure. But you'll see inflow outflow, but you'll not get to see stocks because it's a non-cumulative cube. Then how? Because non-cumulative cube will get value only in query. You give your imagination, you give your thought. Okay? Don't worry about how it is done in BW. Give your thought. So using info set does not work because what I am saying, the non-cumulative key stock will only give you value in query, not in the cube. నీ థాట్ చెప్పన్నా. I will do that in the system. నీవు యాడన్నా పెట్టుకున్నా క్యూబ్లో పెట్టి రిపోర్ట్ ఇస్తావా, రిపోర్ట్ రన్ టైంలో క్యాలిక్యులేట్ నీ ఇష్టం. నాకు అది చూపిస్తారు 3.1 అని చూపిస్తారు. ఐ జస్ట్ షో మీ 3.1 వెదర్ ఇట్ ఇస్ క్యూబ్లో చూపిస్తావా, క్వెరీలో చూపిస్తావా, ఓడెస్లో చూపిస్తావా, ఇన్ఫోసెట్లో చూపిస్తావా, ఎనీ వేర్ యూ వాంట్ యూ కెన్ షో, బట్ ఐ వాంట్ దట్ రిజల్ట్. Because as an user I'm least bothered about how you're implementing it. I'm only worried about the logic, how you. It could be different in fire also. What like okay.
We'll take the stock. We'll take the demand.
That is my logic. I need to take stock, take demand, combine this, and then calculate. How will you achieve that? That's the point.
Multi provider తీసుకొని రిపోర్టింగ్ రెండు క్యూబ్స్ ఆల్రెడీ క్వెరీలో మనకి ఇది వస్తుంది సార్. క్యాల్కులేషన్ ఫార్ములా తీసుకొని ఈ స్టాక్ని కంపేర్ చేసి ఫైనల్గా ఎక్కడైతే మనకి 55 ఎక్సీడ్ అవుతుందో అక్కడ.
ఈ సేస్ ఐ విల్ బిల్డ్ అ మల్టీ ప్రొవైడర్ ఆన్ టాప్ ఆఫ్ ఇన్వెంటరీ. తప్పే ఇంకా కరెక్ట్ కాదు అది. యూ షుడ్ ఆ తప్పేదో చూడాలి కదా నువ్వు, అందుకు చేస్తున్నావు. ఓకే, ఐఎమ్ క్రియేటింగ్ మల్టీ ప్రొవైడర్. ఓకే, జెడ్ రేషియో సంథింగ్ డెమో. నువ్వు అది నీ మనసులో ఎట్లుందో యూ షుడ్ సీ దట్ ఎఫెక్ట్. వాట్ హ్యాపన్, వాట్ ఇస్ ద క్యూబ్ యూ వాంట్ టు సీ. You want to join in BIC_C03. Then what? Demands. So I'll get what? I'll take only what is required. I just want metal and what? Plant, and I want what is this? Stock From here, what is it I want? Demands. Okay. Okay, sorry. I had to do assignment here. I'll say all automatically assignments, proposal, metal number, plant to plant is fine. For key figures, total stock should come from where? From the stock cube. Inflow, outflow, demands from another cube. So demand is coming from one cube, this is coming from one cube. Okay, numbers, fine. I'm creating multi-provider. Okay. If I see the data in the multi-provider, the reporting will do. Let me run a report. So then what will it do? It'll have one metal M1 P1, so it will get two records, M1 P1 so and so stock, and demand is 0, M1 P1 stock 0 with demand so and so. And when in the reporting, it will basically aggregate the records based on the characteristic combination. It will show in one row. Yeah. What time reference characteristic cannot be okay. I understand. Because it's non-commutative keyword, it needs that. The problem is your without date, because your latest value on date, right? So without date, your stock cannot come in. Arthamaindana? That's a problem, because your stock says because your stock aggregation behavior is what? Latest value based on what? Date. So without calendar, it cannot understand the stock. That was the problem. Forget about all this technical, which is cube, all this. Yeah. Hide. Okay, now I've got calendar, I've got demand, I've got what? But in the reporting, when I don't use date, when I hide all these also, will it aggregate on the metal number and plant? So now 60, 105, 55 is my stock, and 70 is my demand. Can you play around? But 70 is giving total stock. But do you know stock of a particular week? I should know, right? Week 1 I need to know. So I need to refer week also into my multi-provider. Because without that, I don't know demand of which week it is, right? Demand of what then? I'll take cal week into this. Assignment to what? Cube 2. Okay, demands cube. Okay, numbers. So you know the week's demands, yeah? Tell me. Suppose if I remove the date, one second. I'll say metal number plant, and then week kavali, and then I want demands. I want the records to be aggregated. ఇంకా కలిసిపోయి రావాలంటే I can see with use DB aggregations, it will aggregate the records and show me. So with characteristic combination, it aggregates it. Now చూడు week 00 ఉన్న దగ్గర that is your what stocks, and for each week you get the demands. ఇట్లా వస్తుంది నీకు. This is how you get the report output. If I remove week, it will tell total demand is 70. But if I want to know stock of each week, I need to have week in the query. Then you'll get the split. Then now, అర్థమైందన్న పాయింట్. This is the same report you would get. What is it you want to see? You want to see plant, you want to see what? Material, then you want to see what? Because here in the reporting I can see stock. Yeah. Back end lagado, right? Based on the inflow outflow, it will show me the stock value clearly. Demands. అంటే ఇక్కడ బ్యాక్ ఎండ్లో ఇన్ఫ్లో అవుట్ఫ్లో బదులు ఇట్ విల్ షో మీ స్టాక్ డైరెక్ట్లీ. And I want to remove these results. Now look at the problem now. So ఇప్పుడు స్టాక్ డిమాండ్ ఒకే రోజులో కూర్చోలే. This is what if you create multi-plot, this is a correct arthamana, because multi-plot is union, it is not intersecting things. Yeah? Then how, okay, now you got output like this, how will you calculate? Arthamana requirement. Now I need to take this 55 and keep checking all this and then give me the count.
Total stock constant selection పెట్టుకొని
Okay. Saying total stock. If you put constant selection, what happens?
All 55 అన్ని రోజు. సో ఇంకో న్యూ ఫార్ములాలో ఇది
It's a 55 and everything. Then what? Now what do you want?
న్యూ ఫార్ములాలో percentage ratio.
So you want to have one more formula, and which says if this is less than this, you say count 1. And then
ratio direct percent ratio తీసుకో.
అంటే ఎట్లా 5 of which పర్సెంట్ తీసుకుంటే ఏమొస్తుంది? నాకు కండిషన్ పెట్టాడు కదా, పర్సెంటేజ్ తీసుకుని మళ్ళీ గ్రేటర్ ప్లస్ ఏముంది. ఇంకా నీకు కరెక్ట్ కావాలంటే కెన్ ఐ స్టిల్ సెట్ దిస్ డిమాండ్ యాజ్ క్యుములేటివ్? కానీ నీ ఫార్ములా వర్క్ కాదు. 5, 35, 54, 61 is okay. Yeah. Now you can ఇప్పుడు లాజిక్, now you can check your what okay. If 55 is less than this, you'll say condition అయితే 1, 1, 1 it comes and does not get satisfied, here it pings 0.
3.1.
కానీ it will not work out actually, because it will not refer to this constant selection to the calculation. I will show you. Ratio, what are you saying? No dim of demand is less than just let me just bring condition first, then See, what are the calculate keyword formula you define? It works row by row, yeah? What is that? Actually, if it is really less, right, it has to bring me 111. Can I have some? Ante conscious selection was eligible to show the value, it is not really filling that value. You got the point? Content selection will show the same value throughout the column, but that will not be recognized as a column value and cannot be used into calculations. One does not work out like that. You got what is your problem when I going to do this? ఇంకా అది ఒకవేళ లెక్కేసి even if it counts there, even if it is able to recognize, you will get 11100. Then again what? Again you want different calculation in this cell, right? You want different calculation in this. Then you will have to go to cell definition. But if I go to cell definition, I need to have a structure in my rows again. How can I say only 4th week only I need that calculation? Right? Doesn't really make sense with multi-provider also. But multi-provider I might తీర్పులనే I did this. Okay, boss? Okay, next then. What is the next solution you want? So this is not working. With multi-provider I can show that. But ultimately I calls and then I don't even need week, nothing. I don't need anything of this. So if you want, you can hide it, but I want it. P1, M1, 3.1. That's my requirement. Okay, boss? Good, look at this. Can I try achieving it like this? See, basically what I want is, I would like to take the stock, I would like to take the demand, then manipulate it to get the required aggregation ratio, okay? So, but if I go to I can do this way, right? I can create one cube, connect my inventory cube to this, and in the transformations, I can read my demands cube and write the logic and fill the ratio, right? Or I can connect my demands cube to my 3rd cube, new cube, and for filling this demand ratio, I'll write a routine which will read the stock from the stock cube, then compare it with my demands and calculate. Can I do that also? Or end routine or something? I'll connect something demands cube or stock cube to my 3rd cube. Use start routine, end routine, some routine, and can I take the stock and read the demands and count how many weeks I'll just loop through all the weeks demands. I just keep counting those weeks and calculate it and fill that ratio. Can that be done? Yeah, can that be done? That also can be done. Correct? You got the thought, what I was telling you? I'll connect the inventory cube to the 3rd cube with the transformations. In the transformations, I will read the data for demands and collaborate both the stock and the demands and calculate the ratio and feed into my cube. Can that be done? Thought vachinda boss? Thought raleda? Adi good. Stock value raadu kada. He says, if to do this, I cannot get the stock because stock is not in my cube. Stock will only be given by my query which is built on inventory cube. So what is my requirement now? I need to have another cube where I'll connect my demands cube to this cube. In the transformations, I need to run a query. In the transformations, I need to run a BEX query on what? Inventory cube, get the stock from the query output, compare with the demands. Is it okay now? I know stock is not there in the cube, but stock will be given by my BEX query. When I'm loading data from demands cube to 3rd cube, in the transformation, I said blind, think anything in your mind. In the transformations, run a BEX query on my inventory cube, collect the query output, which will give you stock, and compare that with the demands, and then calculate in the end routine or whatever it is, and then feed ratio. Broken. When I said read data from cube, you said stock was not there, then read from query. Ante. నేను పాసిబిలిటీ ఉందా లేదా వద్దన్నా నేను ఎలాగైనా మాట్లాడని చెప్పిన వాట్ ఇస్ అందుకే క్యూబ్లో తెలియదు క్వెరీ రన్ చేస్తే తెలుసు కదా వెన్ ఐ రన్ ఎ క్వెరీ ఆన్ మై ఇన్వెంటరీ క్యూబ్ విల్ దట్ గివ్ మీ స్టాక్ ఐఎమ్ సేయింగ్ ఇన్ ద ట్రాన్స్ఫర్మేషన్స్ రన్ ద క్వెరీ ఆన్ మై ఇన్వెంటరీ క్యూబ్ విచ్ విల్ గివ్ మీ స్టాక్ రీడ్ ద అవుట్పుట్ ఆఫ్ ద క్వెరీ అండ్ కంపేర్ విత్ ద డిమాండ్స్ అండ్ క్యాలిక్యులేట్ అగ్రిగేషన్ రేషియోస్ అవునా ఆర్ take the BigQuery as source, connect the BigQuery to my cube, create transformations while transform read the demands cube. Either way I can do. Either way, ultimate concept is what? I need to perform some logic reading the query output. That's the concept. To achieve this logic, I need to implement it by reading the query output. I need to take the query result into my transformations and manipulate my data again. Kada? So, but if you right click on the cube and when you say transformations, can I use query as a source object? This work kada undante. You basic cannot be used actually. Okay. So, what is it? Okay, doesn't work. Okay. So, with normal data loading, I am not able to use my BigQuery as a source. Okay. So, we can use other concept of data mining called APD, which will allow you to use BigQuery as a source. APD enduku vadalane question ki idantha answer annattu. Okay, now fine. Now I got both the cubes. I am going to build an APD which will take BigQuery as a source, cube content as a source. I'll join both these two and write a routine calculating it and put the data into directable DSO. From directable DSO, I'll load it another cube and then do reporting on it with the aggregation ratio. This point. So what I'll do? Can I create one directable DSO? Because only directable DSO can be used as a target in what? APD. In APD, if I want to collect the results of an APD into some object, what? Only directable DSO is supported. Other DSOs are not supported, right? So what? Create data store. ACT ratio something. Metal, plant, and then what? Demand ratio, right? I still don't have a key here for it. Let me create a demand ratio. ZD ratio. And injure some. What is it? Is it integer or can come with decimal, right? It's a number. And what type of DSO I want? So my directable DSO is ready. I can use this as a target in APD now. Yeah. Okay. I can go. I can go with this icon here to the APD, or I can go with the T code. RSANWB. Okay. I'm going to create an APD process. Create. So general types. Okay. Calculate demand ratio. Okay, now I'm going to formulate my complete data flow design. Now what is it you want? Tell me. What is that you want to take as an input? One is demands I want. So I can take demand cube. I got my demands in my cube, so I can read the cube because demand is cumulative. Straight away I can read from the cube. So I'll say what? Read from provider. Which provider is it? What is my cube name? DEMAN DS demands. Provider name is demands. Then go to the field selection. From the demands cube, you might have a lot of infobics, but what is it you actually want to read? నాకు అన్నీ కావాలి యాక్చువల్గా ఈ సెనల్ ఉంది బట్ రియల్ టైంలో యూ క్యూబ్ మైట్ బి హ్యావింగ్ లాట్ ఆఫ్ ఇన్ఫాబిక్స్ యూ కెన్ చూస్ వాట్ యూ వాంట్ సో ఫర్ అ పర్టికులర్ మెటీరియల్ ఫర్ అ పర్టికులర్ ప్లాంట్ ఫర్ అ పర్టికులర్ వీక్ వాట్ ఈస్ మై డిమాండ్ దట్ ఐ వాంట్ హ్యావ్ ఆల్ దోస్ సో దిస్ క్యూ విల్ స్టార్ట్ గివింగ్ మీ ఫర్ get the granularity for a particular plant, for a particular material, for each of the week you get the demands, and 5 weeks demand and the 5 weeks demands you'll get, 5 records you'll get from this cube. So next I would like to get the stocks. For the stock, if I read my cube, will I get the stock? Because stock is a non-included keyword which is not there in the cube directly, it has to be read from the BEX query. So what I'll go to my query and create a new query on what? BIC underscore C03. Okay, then I'll take what? Plant material. ఏం చేస్తున్నాను I've removed the result rows. Don't need it. P1, M1, 50. Okay. So I'm going to read this query into my APD bus. What is this? Drag your query. Choose query. Pene ఉంటుంది లేదా info areas మంది ఎందుకు బస్ this one APD stock. I don't have any variables, so I don't have to worry about the variants. Okay. When using query in this APD, because sometimes query can be real big. Okay. In the case what they do, normally if you're loading huge amount of data, do you split in packets, right? Same way when you're executing query, I can split that in packets. When the query is really huge, divide collection, I can say based on metal or plant wise, 1000 records, or I can say 1000 metals will be into one package. And when the query is really big and it is going for dumps, you control this query sizing like this. And 1000 metals oka packet lo vastundi. I don't need this because it's only single record. Okay. Then what? This is giving you stock and this giving you weeks. Like how did you set the query on multi-provider? You wanted to have stocks in every record and then demands for each week. Can I get the same kind of results by joining these two results? Yes. I have a what is this? Join data from several data sources. Now bring your join. Okay, connect this cube to this cube to this, and right click, go to what? Properties of join. So this is info provider 1, which is giving me demands. This is info provider 1, which is giving me stock. So you would like to join on what? Plant to plant, material to material. After joining, what all you want to take from this? I want a metal number and plant. I want demands from this. Then what? Total stock. Solve. I know both are in units. Inka extreme logic ఏమంటే suppose if the units are in different. My stocks are showing in kgs, but the demand worth plant in grams. అట్లా కండిషన్ పెట్టాలంటే I need to bring unit from both. If condition పెట్టాలా I don't అంత వద్దులే. రెండు ఒకే యూనిట్ ఉందా అనుకున్నాం. ఓకేనా బస్ ఫైన్. తీసుకుంటా. I'll take calorie. Okay, good. ఓకే గుడ్. ఇప్పుడు ఇక్కడికి ఎట్లా డేటా ఎలా ఉందో యూ షుడ్ అండర్స్టాండ్, దెన్ వీ కెన్ యాక్టివేట్. ఐ నో ఇట్స్ ఓకే. రైట్ క్లిక్. ఇప్పుడు ఇక్కడ వరకు రిజల్ట్ ఎలా వచ్చిందో చూడాలంటే ఇక్కడ రైట్ క్లిక్ ఆన్ ఇంటర్మీడియట్ రిజల్ట్స్. I just want to see the results intermediate at the middle stage. Okay, how is it made? ఎట్లుంటుంది? You would see stock for all the rows. In the back end, what it is doing, it is reading from cube, it is executing Bex query, joining both the results and giving you. When the join is placed on this M1 P1 M1 P1 M1 P1 with all the weeks, it will have weeks 5, 30, 20, all this, and for each of this row you will have the stock fixed 55, 55, 55 and so. It is actually executing that query and all those stuff. See, source data is being read and the result is being calculated. సో అంటే జాయిన్ తర్వాత రిజల్ట్ ఎలా ఉందో చూసుకుంటే దెన్ నేను నెక్స్ట్ వెన్ ఐ గో టు అబ్యాప్ యూ నో హౌ ఇట్ ఈస్ డేటా, దెన్ హౌ ఐఎమ్ మ్యానిపులేటింగ్ ఇట్. అండ్ రైటింగ్ అబ్యాప్ హియర్ వుడ్ బి సంథింగ్ లైక్ యువర్ ఎక్స్పర్ట్ రొటీన్ వేర్ యూ హ్యావ్ టూ టేబుల్స్, ఇంటర్నల్ టేబుల్ 1 and internal table 2. All the data what is coming from the join will get into internal table 1 and you loop through that table. Depending on the output what you want, you fill the output table that will be getting it directly to DS. ఇదొక ప్రాబ్లం అన్న, క్వెరీ ముందుకు రన్ కాదనుకుంటా. ఫస్ట్ క్వెరీ రన్ చేసి రిజల్ట్ చెప్పమని చెప్తాం, చూద్దాం. ఇట్ సేస్ MDX ప్రాబ్లం సమ్. See what I'll do is if in this scenario it is not able to run the query, మన వర్క్ అరౌండ్ కోసం ఏం చేస్తానంటే ఒక టేబుల్లో రిజల్ట్ పెట్టేసి దాన్ని వాడతాం. బట్ ఇన్ రియల్ టైమ్ యూ విల్ హ్యావ్ టు యూస్ క్వెరీ వర్క్స్ అవుట్. సిస్టమ్ లేదా ప్రాబ్లం ఉండి ఇఫ్ ఇట్స్ నాట్ ఏబుల్ టు రన్ ద క్వెరీ దెన్ ఐ విల్ గో విత్ దట్. If you have to really face real time scenario, time it will tappadu. You have to spend time. Anthing em cheyalem. Vallu ide 3-4 months chestarana, మనం ఇంకా 1 hour చేస్తున్నాం. ఓకే. So that is the problem with executing that query. చూద్దాం. Let me go ahead. ఇబ్బంది అయితే నేను I'll replace this query with some table which will give 55 stock. Then it can work out. Can I remove this query? Can real time lo matram you will be holding a query here. Okay. So let me manipulate some table. For now temporary solution. అది సిస్టంలో ప్రాబ్లం ఉంది. Why కదా బస్. అంతే కదండి వాల్యూ 50. So can I read data from database table also? Instead of query, I'm just going to place it out, that nothing else. In the real time, you would have the query. Okay, kadana, that's fine, right? For now, something I'm just work out. I can calculate this. Let's calculate this. You can see this temporary table and see how it is formulated. నేను సేవ్ చేసినానో లేదన్నా ఆ టేబుల్. And the cube is not giving data. Because I inserted these demands with RS input, request is yellow. So okay, see, I converted it to green, so now it's okay. So now this is how the join is giving you. Plant, material, demands, week, stock and then a table. It closes. So this is, so when I go about writing an ABAP routine now, it will be same like export routine and export routine where you have two internal tables. This data actually comes and sits into one table, internal table. I need to loop through that internal table and manipulate record into my target table with the target, like say metal number, plant, demand ratio, which will get into directed by DSO. Okay. So let me delete this data. If I don't delete, it will try to read every time the same data only. Then what? What is? I can bring an ABAP routine and connect this join to what? To an ABAP routine. Now go to properties of ABAP routine, start writing. What is this? This is the name of the routine. Source fields. Source is giving all the fields. I want all. So what are the fields you specify? Sorry, these are not. It is source fields. That is grouping. Okay. This is all my. So my source will have two internal tables. Source table and target table. Source internal table will have the structure of the definition. E fields to definition untundi. Okay. Target table. Target ఇవన్నీ కావాలి నీకు. By default it takes everything. Turn నాకు అవద్దు. ఎట్లా పెట్టిన ఏముంది సీక్వెన్స్ ఇస్ ఓకే రైట్. వాట్ యూ వాంట్? YD, what is ZD ratio? This is info bit I want in the target. So I'm going to have, this is my source table fields. Should అంటే ఇంటర్ టేబుల్లో హౌ టు రెఫర్ టు ద కాలమ్స్ టేబుల్ నేమ్ వర్క్ ఏరియా YN ప్లాంట్ అంటే ఇదే నేమ్స్. దీస్ ఆర్ ద నేమ్స్ ఆఫ్ దట్ కాలమ్ in the tables, and these are the names of the columns in my target table. Go to routine. Okay, see automatic they have written a actually see this is what IT underscore source is the internal table which will have all the incoming data. Okay, and ET underscore target is the outgoing table. Ante again I have the table called IT underscore source with what columns first? So data is also this. This is a table IT underscore source will be filled with all the columns of the source with the data what is coming from the join. Okay, and you would have another table in this. What is it? The internal table which is blank. Okay, Nanda? Internal table which is blank already given. And moreover, apart from the two tables, they have given one work area for this one, like result underscore fields laga. There is one more work area for the target table, LS underscore target. Which can hold what? Because they are the tables without header, so we'll have to manipulate the record into the work area. From work area we'll be putting into the target table. నువ్వు చెప్పు లాజిక్, నువ్వు చెప్పను. ఇప్పుడు ఇదన్నా చెప్పాలి, ఇప్పుడు ఈయనే చెప్పాలి. I loop through this table, and then for ultimate gain I want P1 here. Ultimately what is it I want? I want P1 M1, sorry, M1 and ratio I need to calculate. How do I calculate? I take this stock and loop through all the weeks. Then keep checking the demands and then keep counting, manipulating one variable, then put that variable into this. That's okay, boss. Okay. Inka depth. So if you assume to have it as multiple plant, multiple metals, for each combination I must run the loop actually. Kada. You can, don't worry on this. Okay. So I'm going to write a code for this. move source one and aguddu. There is an append. This also will comment. So let's write then. Okay. So there is already loop statement which will say loop at your internal table into my work area. So what will happen? Each time the loop runs in, the first record comes and sits into this. Yeah. Good. What I'll do? You can play around anything. It's a coding, so you can. It's freehand. Okay. LV underscore stock is equal to. LS source hyphen what? Y star. దీంట్లో స్టాక్ పెట్టుకుంటున్నా. ఐఎమ్ హోల్డింగ్ దట్ స్టాక్ ఇన్ టు ఇట్. ఓకే ఓకే దెన్ ఐ విల్ చెక్ నౌ. నెక్స్ట్ ఈజ్ వాట్? రీడ్ what I'll do, then I'll have to loop through the same table again for all those records, then it works out. So I use one more structure. LS source one and say what? Comma. Okay. Means I am taking first record of it to refer to the stock, and I am running loop for all the records on it to still calculate. Okay. Now first record comes in. Now check if LV underscore stock. Let's go. Stock equal. Stock is greater than hyphen. What should happen? So it checks with the first record demand. It checks. If it checks, if it is really fine, what should I do? LD పెడితే మళ్ళీ చూస్తా ఎలిసిగాలంటాము. ఏం చేయాలి బస్? Z ratio is equal to Z ratio plus 1. Before the loop starts, I want my Z ratio to be initialized as what? 0. So Z ratio equal to Z ratio plus 1. Okay. Else part means if it doesn't satisfy that, what should I do? Means if let's say first week demand comes in, my stock is greater than that, so okay. నేను రాసి ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తాను. ఓకే, దాంతో 3 వారాలకు యాడ్ అయిపోద్ది. 4వ వారం వస్తుంది. ఇది 55 ఉంటుంది. టోటల్ డిమాండ్ వచ్చేసి 49 + 6 ఇది ఉంటుంది. అప్పుడు కరెంట్ వీక్ డిమాండ్ స్టాక్లో నుంచి I'll say if LV stock is greater than or equal to my total demand, I'm putting. So if it is not greater, when my stock is 55 and this is something for 54 plus 7, so it becomes 61. That doesn't get satisfied, so stock balance will be still 54. Okay. Then సో 51 వస్తే అప్పుడు నాకు 55లో నుంచి 54 ఎత్తేస్తే 1 మిగులుతుంది. ఆ 1కి ఆ వీక్స్కి రేషియో క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేయాలి. ఓకే. LV stock minus stock used left and stock used. Zero. Left balance is this. Now we'll check the Z days equal to what will be your Z days? Z days equal to total stock divided by this 7 by 1 undi. How will you get 1 day? 7 by 1 is 1 or 7? No, what is 7 divided by 1? We need, we have stock 1 and I need it for 7 days. So you'll get it to what? About 1 stock, we divide it for 7 days, so 0.1. So I need to take this. So do we use mod as a function, right? Mod will give you what? The reminder? Yes or no? Mod will give, sure. Mod of what? Left balance divided by what? The demand. You're going to get that here. Once you get out of the loop, I need to add this ZDMD ratio is equal to ZRATIO. Small divided in let it do normal division and get 0.1. But I would like to do round function on the bus, round of this.
F1 syntax.
Wrong. The round function wrong. Let it bring normal bus. Then we'll check it. We'll debug this and see. Ratio and plus what? Z dash. And but this loop will run for a lot of times. But I don't want this to run for a lot, because if it runs for a lot of times, it will calculate many times. Grouping at the let it bring 5 times. I'll overwrite in the direct update DS, it will overwrite, no problem. So what's happening now? I need to declare all this Z demand ratio. Type आएगा तो बस I want this to be decimal, so how do you say decimal? It'll P P
Space
అంతేనా? Let the number of 3 decimals. Say something. Here, what is here?
3
అంతేనా? But from ముందు number precision అంతేనా? I want with number with 1 decimal.
Decimal 1.
Oh, so P of 10 ఇంతలో P of 10 with decimal 3 అంతేనా? ప్యాక్ డెసిమల్ DCA decimal decimals P length 8. And 5 decimal 1. Okay. Then with the dot. Okay. Now loop starts in, and first it takes the total stock and initializes this, and it'll loop through the same table again for each record. I can say like this, instead of looping entire table where y yn plant is equal to hyphen yn plant. Can I say and on there? And okay. Can I write and? Okay. And yn mno is equal to hyphen yn mno. So that loop will run only for that metal plant combination only. So total stock comes here, then first week demand comes, first week demand, total demand is 0. So now demand becomes 5. Now your 55 is greater than 5. So it says ratio as 1. Stock used will be what? 0 plus 5. So stock used will become 5, then gets out. Again loops in, again second record comes in. Second record total demand is already 5. 5 plus 30, it becomes 35. Now 55 is greater than this 35. So yes, it will add one more ratio. Ratio becomes 2. Stock used will become what? We already had stock used as what? 5. 5 plus 20 becomes what? 30. 35 used. Okay. Only next it will 20. So total demand becomes 19. So 54 it becomes less. So third week is satisfied. Stock used will be what? It will become 54. Comes from the else. Now goes in next week. Then it will be what? 7. So total demand becomes what? 61. 54 plus 7, 61 it becomes. Stock is 55. Is greater than 61? No. So comes out. I am calculating what is my left out balance. Left stock is still what? 55. Minus what is stock used till today? Is 54 only. So 55 minus 54 is like 1. If my balance, still there is some balance, I calculate the days. Otherwise I don't calculate my days. So if my left balance is not, at least one stock is left out, okay, 1 unit is left out, then days equal to what? Left balance divided by this demand. This demand is 7. 1 by 7 becomes 0.1. So days is supposed to, I did not declare days, I think, right? The days is also going to hold 0.14. I'll say decimal 1, so that it will take 0.1 on this one. Now once the loop is done, then I can say exit out of the loop, right? I can write exit. It will come out of that loop, so it need not run loop anymore. And then comes out. Now ratio is what? 3, and days will be 0.1, and 3 plus 1 becomes what? 3.1. Okay. Now once that comes out, now should I append this back to what? The work area. From work area I need to put that into table. My target work area is what? LS target. Hyphen yn mno is equal to what? I take the source. Hyphen yn mno. Plant is equal to yn plant. The next what? Your field name is ZD ratio, so ls underscore target hyphen ZD ratio is equal to what? So you put that into work area. Now I'll say append ls underscore 2 na into na into what is my table? ET underscore ET target is output target table. LV stock is unknown. LV stock is equal. Didn't I declare LV stock? LV underscore STO stock type integer. Okay. Syntax error same level, but there could be logical error. Fine. So result is query. This is going to give me this. I can still check in till here. What is the result is getting in? Record save చేయాలంట. Statement is only support for character data type objects. Conversion exit alpha. Okay. Let's check that later. Now what are the results I'm going to get from here? I'm going to put that into what? Into a direct update DSO. Now what is my target here? Direct update DSO. What are the direct update DSO we created? ACT ratio was my direct update DSO. And I want it to overwrite. Complete overwrite. Okay. Then get this into this. Okay, was fine. And now you can see the mappings here. Metal number, you're getting source should be what? Metal number, map it. Plant, for the incoming plant. For the demand ratio, my routine is giving ratio, right? So I'll map with the ratio. Activated. So my APD is activated. Okay. If you still want, you can debug that and see also. Okay. For debugging, what I'll say. So when I have the hard-coded breakpoint, it has to stop when I run it. Yeah. So let's debug this. IT source has got the same 5 records what we have assumed to bring in. Yes. Okay. Let's run the loop. Yeah. Say 5. Yeah. Loop at IT source. 1 record comes in. Your LV stock should become what? 55. Okay. All this we're initializing. It's okay. Now loop again starts into next source. And total demand will initially it will be what? 0. And first week demand is what? 5. Actually, I should have sorted it. I should sort the table with the week, then go, because then only first week comes in. But I'm assuming okay. So total demand is now what? What if the total demand becomes now? 5. If LV stock is 55, is greater than my 5. So what? Ratio should be what? 1. Okay. And stock used is what? Till now stock used is 0. Out of 55 now I'm using 5, so it becomes what? Stock used 0 plus 2. Out of 55 now I've used 5. Okay, good. Else part gets in. Next record comes in. Next record, what is my demand? 30. So total demand becomes what? 35. So 55 is greater than 35. So ratio gets added as 2. Stock used is what? 5 plus 30. So 35 is my stock used. Okay. Now getting in again. Total demand is now what? 54. It add the ratio as 3. Stock used will become what? 54. Okay. Comes out. Next it gets in. Now total demand becomes what? Now this week demand is 7. So 7 plus 51 what?
61.
So 61 stock is 55, does not satisfy the condition, goes in. Stock is 55, stock used is what? 54. What is the left balance? Is 1, and 1 is not equal to 0. Yes. Now left balance is 1 by, what is my demand? 7. 1 by 7, it is going to calculate and give me days. Get 0.1 and comes out of the loop. Yeah, but here question. Comes out of the loop, and then ratio is, my ratio is 3 and this is 0.1. So 3 plus 0.1 should give me what? 3.1, and I'm just putting that into the work area. LS underscore target, that's my work area. P1 M1 3 ఇది that's okay, 2 decimals మనం మళ్ళీ చూడొచ్చు. Then I'm appending that to what? ED target. ఇప్పుడు ఏమిటంటే ప్రతి లూప్ ఇది ఇట్లే చేస్తుంటుంది అన్నట్టు. నేను కంట్రోల్ చేయలేదు బికాస్ రానిలేదు. The duplicate record server. So what I'll do? Can I sort in this once the table gets all the? I know there are duplicate data going to come in. Once that, can I say sort and then delete adjacent duplicate records? I'll say sort. Sorry. ET underscore target. It's sort. నాకు తెలియదు చెప్పండి. Sort table. By yn plant yn mn1. Okay, then delete what is duplicate records from et underscore
loop byte. Loop byte after ending.
So sort this. Delete adjacent duplicate from this table. Comparing yn plant yn mn1. Going to so P1 M1 తో అన్ని సార్లు వచ్చింది 5 సార్లు. ఇప్పుడు సార్టింగ్. సో delete adjacent duplicates of record deleted, and then one record is returned to this. So if I go to my directory of DSO, I should have this. Direct actually you will not have request, you will only have record. When you go to active table, M1 P1 3-1, but we don't do reporting on director of DSO directly. Again, what I do, I create one cube, load data from this direct DSO. Can I load it to next level cube from this direct? Again, you know this, you can create a cube, load data from this direct of DSO to cube, and then include that cube into multi-proder, then do reporting. I told you, never do reporting on a cube directly, even single cube, include that into multi-proder and then do reporting. Okay, boss? Inka, suppose if he says, I want that report to say for M1 P1, what is my stock, total stock, what is my total demand, what is my demand ratio, mood kalpi chupilante. I load the data from this direct of DSO to another cube, combine demands cube, stocks cube, this ratio cube, create multi-proder, then give the, on top of that multi-proder, give him a report. M1 P1 stock ఎంత, మొత్తం డిమాండ్ ఎంత, డిమాండ్ రేషియో ఎంత. డిమాండ్ కలిపేసినప్పుడు ఇబ్బంది లేదు, మొత్తం డిమాండ్ 70. Or if you want to show demands, you can show weeks across like this. మొత్తం స్టాక్ ఎంత, ఎన్ని వీక్లకి ఉంది, ఏం దాని కథ ఏందో, డిమాండ్ రేషియో కెన్ కంబైన్ ఆల్ దిస్ త్రీ క్యూబ్స్, స్టాక్ క్యూబ్, డిమాండ్ క్యూబ్ అండ్ what demand ratio cube, combine all these three with multi-product, then give me a report with all the three KPIs: stock, demand ratio. Okay boss? So APD is like a data mining tool like this which can be leveraged. Yeah, చేస్తాను